When you come so close to death, you really appreciate every day of life after that a lot more. What's good, everybody? It's Nadia, and I have not sat down with you guys and filmed a video for months. I'm sure by now most of you know that I have leukemia. I was diagnosed in February, and so I'm making this video as a little bit of an update on my journey. I've taken a little bit of a break from my YouTube channel just to get better, but if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I have been sharing my journey ever since I was diagnosed. So I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me anything you wanted about my leukemia journey. And before we get into this, just to give you guys a little bit of an update of where I'm at, I just completed my 3rd round of chemo. I start my next round of chemo next week, and that will be my 4th round of chemo. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's get into this Q&A. Skirt, skirt! Okay, first question is, how are you really mentally coping and getting on? Is it as much of a mental battle as physical? Yes, I feel like I'm doing really, really well. I feel like before getting cancer, I was a lot more resilient than I gave myself credit for. I've been able to find small pieces of happiness throughout my day that have kept me going. Obviously, I have like really, really bad days where I'm either feeling really unwell or, you know, my mental health isn't so great. I might be feeling really, really down. I feel like for the most part, I've done really, really well. Like I'm just gonna give myself a pat on the back. Like I'm actually really proud of myself. You know, I spent 6 weeks in hospital in a room. That was really hard. And I think that actually prepared me for coming out into the world that we're kind of in right now with this whole like coronavirus situation. Definitely this 2nd lockdown in Victoria has been getting to me a little bit more than the 1st lockdown. I do also feel like I've had really, really, really good support during this time, which makes all of the difference. I try not to dwell too much on my situation. I get up every day and I try and still do something creative, which keeps me really, really happy. Obviously on days where I'm not feeling it, I just rest. Yeah, like today, for example, I'm having a good day, so I'm able to get up and film this video for you guys. On a bad day, I'll just lay around and not do so much. How have friends reacted, and how has it changed your opinion on your friends? I can't even put it into words. They have just been incredible. We do things like movie nights. They call me, message me all the time, check in on me, send me supplies of things. When it comes to my opinion of my friends, I have always thought highly of my friends. Have you lost any friends in the process because they weren't supportive? Most of my friends who were there before I had cancer are still here now. There's a couple that have dropped off along the way, which happens, but for the most part, my friends are all still here. Does it bother you when people treat you differently? I feel like from day one, I stuck to who I was, and I made it very, very clear that I did not want sympathy. Like I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. So for the most part, everyone's really treated me the same as before. You know, the only things that have changed is how people care for me. So obviously I've needed a lot of help during this time, so people have helped me in that way. But in terms of my personality, my mind, all that kind of stuff, no one's treating me any differently, which I feel like a lot of cancer patients, we don't want to feel like we're on the outside. Next question, the impact of COVID and extra isolation from friends, family, and Honey. Honey is my little puppy, by the way. That's definitely been a really tough one. Becoming even more isolated is quite difficult. I'm unable to see most of my family, my friends, my boyfriend. And it is definitely really hard as well being away from my puppy. Like I didn't have her for that long before I had to send her on a little bit of a holiday. Okay, so the next question is, what are helpful things that loved ones can say or do to help? So when you are first diagnosed with cancer, I think it's very normal for cancer patients to feel like they're a burden. So one of the best things you can actually do is just to show up and be there and get them the things that you think they will need, you know, during their hospital stay or at home. I was so lucky to have friends and family that did all that for me. I never had to ask my friends, they just showed up. They brought me things like deodorant, skincare, hair care, pajamas, clothes to wear in hospital, games to play. They decorated my room with photos. My family brought me food. Some of my friends brought me food. This was pre-COVID in the beginning. Most cancer patients are probably not going to ask for what they actually need. A lot of the time they don't even know what they need. It's definitely really hard for a cancer patient to reach out and ask for help. And I think most people definitely mean well when they offer help. So rather than phrasing it with, let me know if you need anything, just show up and say, hey, I've got you this to help you. And I think that that makes all the difference in someone's journey. Okay, what is the number one thing you've learned, realized during your cancer journey so far? Just to let go of grudges. It's not worth it. Life is way too short. Just to really appreciate the gift of life. Like waking up when you come so close to death. Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. Holy crap, I really did not feel that one coming. When you come so close to death, you really appreciate every day of life after that a lot more. So yeah, I definitely have just learned to appreciate life, and I do not sweat the small stuff anymore. I move on from things a lot better. What are the 3 most exciting things you can't wait to do once you've finally beaten this beast? Oh, I like that attitude because I am gonna beat it. Definitely traveling for sure. Like I am on the first plane out of here as soon as we are allowed. Just going out for like lunch and a coffee. Oh, the other one is just gonna be like eating whatever I want without having to worry about any kind of food poisoning or anything like that. Can't wait to have seafood. That's gonna be my first meal, like oysters. Next question, was the rash and the purple mark the only warning sign of it? I had a whole bunch of symptoms, but rather than me sit and go through that all, I actually have a video on my channel that you can watch. So definitely watch that because I talk about my symptoms and I give photos. Okay, next question. Do you have to be extra careful of diseases like listeria? Yes. I avoid things like deli meats, anything like raw fish, sushi type foods, salad bars. Like when I was actually in hospital, I avoided all of those things. If it is like a salad, make sure that it's like home prepared, cleaned really well. And it's really depressing because I love seafood so much. It's my favorite food. I had it like every single week, and to have that robbed, like I'm not even sure if I was more upset about having leukemia or having to change my diet. What skincare or makeup reacts with chemo, etc.? Okay, so this one is gonna be dependent on the type of chemotherapy that you are having. Every cancer is different. Personally, I just stick to really natural skincare lines. I use Tribe Skincare, which I used before my diagnosis. In terms of like deodorants and things like that, I use everything that's very natural. And I also find anything with oatmeal in it is really, really good for dry skin, which I'm normally quite oily, but I've been getting very, very dry skin because of some of the medications that I'm on. Next question, is it like a weird feeling or do you forget sometimes? Sometimes I literally just sit there and I'm like, damn bitch, you have leukemia. So yeah, sometimes it can be like a weird feeling. Sometimes I zone out and I just don't think about it. I don't like dwell on it every day. Okay, what would you say the biggest misconception from people would be with regards to cancer? A little kiss at the end. One of the biggest misconceptions, which can be quite dangerous, is this image of a cancer patient and the fact that they always have to look sick, either before diagnosis or during diagnosis, whatever that might be. Not everyone looks sick before they're diagnosed. That's one of the key things that I want to drive home when I'm raising awareness about leukemia and cancer in general. Not everyone looks sick. I was literally going to events up until like 2 days before I was diagnosed. I was getting dolled up. I was shooting content, like I looked very well. Even during cancer, you know, there's days where I look really, really unwell, and there's days where I look like, how would you even know that she's sick? Another misconception is that everyone with cancer that is on treatment will lose their hair. Not everyone loses their hair. It depends on the type of chemotherapy you're on. It depends on how the chemotherapy affects you. Another misconception is that it is the person's fault for why they got cancer, like they could have done something differently. They don't even know what causes my type of cancer yet. Talking about what I could have done better and differently, it's kind of a waste of time. Another really big misconception is that you're gonna die of this. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that comes to mind when you get diagnosed. You're just like, I'm gonna die from this. Oh my God, this is the big C word. Like, it's just so scary. But cancer treatments have come a long way in the past few years, and there are so many different treatment options, and many people survive this, and your life is not over. You still have a life to live. You still have a purpose. You can still do things that you love. Okay, so next one is, who cooks your wonderful meals? I am so lucky that I have a personal live-in chef. No, I'm just kidding. My mom cooks all of my meals, and my sister and her fiance. So I'm really lucky that they're all really, really good cooks. Okay, so the next one is there anything taboo or things that no one knows or talks about during the cancer journey? Ooh, good question. Not a lot of people talk about dating while you have cancer, and it might be like an awkward topic for some. I was actually given a booklet when I was first diagnosed that had a lot of information in there, especially on taboo topics. I think it was actually from the Leukemia Foundation. Highly recommend them if you are needing guidance, support. They have like financial assistance schemes as well. So I've got two questions here that are kind of similar, so I'll answer them in one. We have, why did the doctor place a PICC line and not a Mediport? The Mediport is the port that you have in your chest. And can you tell us more about the line or tubing in your arm? I'll show you what they are referring to. So, hello, it's like a little butterfly. That's what I call it, the butterfly. This is my PICC line, as you can see. So the reason why I have a PICC line instead of a Mediport or a port in my chest is generally for the type of chemotherapy regime that I am on. They will go with a PICC line. I did actually have a complication with my first PICC line, which was on my right arm. I actually have a blood clot at the moment from that. So I had to have it removed from this side. And I believe it was in my arm on this side for about 3 to 4 months before I ran into any issues. So PICC line actually stands for peripherally inserted central catheter. So it is a form of intravenous access that can last for a prolonged period of time. Basically, they can last up to a year. I do have 2 lines, as you can see here. So I have what's called a double lumen, when I have, you know, multiple infusions at once that can be ran at the same time. They will use both. That was generally in the beginning of my treatment when I was, you know, having a lot of blood transfusions. It just sped up the process and meant that I wasn't attached to the drip as long. But yeah, it goes in my veins and all the way into my heart. They do a little procedure where they numb the whole area when they put it in. It is very painless. The only pain is when they give you a little bit of anesthetic. It can't get wet, so some of you are probably wondering how I actually shower and bathe with it. I have these little blue plastic sleeves that I put over it when I'm in the shower or the bath, and I have it changed, the dressing, once a week. And yeah, that's my PICC line, guys, my best friend. I should probably name it. Okay, so the next question is, can you drink alcohol while receiving treatment? Me personally, I would avoid alcohol during treatment. What was the most painful part or parts? Probably one of the most painful parts of having leukemia is seeing like those who are close to you suffer as well. You get cancer, everyone else around you gets cancer as well, and I get a lot of bone pain, and that can be really, really painful. Nausea, any of the like crappy side effects that you get from treatment. Oh, this is a good one. Will you be able to have children after your treatment? They said to me straight away, we don't have a month to freeze your eggs. If we don't start treatment now, it's gonna have some really bad consequences. Anyway, I was really worried about that. My doctor actually got the fertility expert to come see me the very next morning, and they told me that I can still have kids after this treatment. Next question is, who has been the biggest support to you through this journey? My mom, for sure. She is absolutely incredible. My sister is next level. My family, my friends, my boyfriend, everyone, like my followers, everyone has been really, really supportive. My doctor has been so incredible and positive. The nurses that I have are really, really supportive. The next question is, how do you manage and keep track of all your appointments? Well, during chemo, I am in hospital every day, so I just know to go into hospital every day. Any tips on how to manage your hair when it was thinning? I haven't lost all of my hair. I have lost a lot of hair. I had a lot of hair to begin with, so for some of you it might not look like I've lost a lot of hair. So what I found helped me was avoiding like tight ponytails, you know, using scrunchies to tie my hair up because they're a bit looser, doing like low plaits in my hair, washing my hair with baby shampoo and really gently made a huge difference. Just anything gentle. I try to avoid blow drying my hair now unless I have to. I try not to wash my hair with really, really hot water. I also have a silk turban that my best friend Brett and his mummy sent me, and that really helps at night. Silk pillowcases. Our next question is, were the hospitals actually as packed with COVID cases as they say they are? Well, because I was on a cancer ward and I'm in a cancer treatment center, I am nowhere near COVID patients, so I can't tell you from first-hand experience what their wards are like. Okay, next question. Is every day draining? I feel drained in terms of my energy, but I wouldn't feel like I wake up and I'm like, oh, every day is just so draining. Like, I work with what I've got. I wake up and I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for, but I do little things to help me feel better. Like, I have an exercise bike that my family got me for my birthday this year, so that helps. And that's it, guys. That is the end of this Q&A update on my leukemia journey video. I hope that this video inspires you with, you know, whatever you're going through, just to keep going, to never give up on yourself. Things get better. Like, I promise you, things do get better. I'm very grateful that I am still here. I start my next round of chemo next week. I'm ready to knock it out the park. I'm ready to get it done, ready to lose my energy again. I've had like 3 weeks off, so like I'm starting to get my energy back again. Thank you for continuing to support me and accept me for who I am. I am so grateful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Share this video if you can. It always helps, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!